Hi everyone. Well, here's another driving test for you to have a look at. This is a driving test that's taking place in Oswestry on a January morning. The weather conditions are good. There's no rain throwing it down, thank goodness. Unfortunately, this test did end up as being a fail, which you'll be able to see a little bit later on, which I'll come to a little bit later on in the video. What will happen is at the beginning of the driving test, the examiner will probably place on the dashboard of the car a satellite navigation system, and he'll just ask you to follow the directions from the sat nav. That'll last for about 20 minutes, and then afterwards, as soon as the sat nav switches itself off, the examiner will say, "I'll give you normal directions from then on." So when you come to the end of this road, the sat-nav has said, at the end of the road, turn right. So the candidates going up to the end of the road, and you can see they're nicely up to the end of the road there. That's great. Get right up to the end of the road. That gives you the best possible visibility. Always remembering, mirrors first, your signal, and then it's your manoeuvre. That's the thing that they are particularly looking at. Mirrors first, and your signal, MSM. So as soon as you're safe to proceed, after you've checked both ways, out you go. Now as you go driving off, the important thing to do now is check your mirrors again. What you need to do is just be aware of what's happening at the back of you at any one moment in time. The driving test isn't as daunting as it might seem. All it's there to do is to see if you can drive safely. That's all it is. It's got nothing more other than that. It's just literally jump in the car and can you drive off. The examiner doesn't play any sort of role in it. It's not a lesson. What you're doing is you're demonstrating to the examiner what it is that you can do. So you're showing him or her what it is that you can do. You're not there being told what to do. It's entirely left with you. You have got to demonstrate that you are capable of driving independently and on your own without any intervention from anyone. That's the purpose of it. So as you come up to the end of the roads, then it's always a matter of mirrors first, your signal, then your manoeuvre. So when we come to the end of this road, what will happen is the sat-nav will again say, at the end of the road, turn right. So again, mirrors, your signal, and then your manoeuvre. That's all you've got to really remember. The speed limit where we're going down now, this is only a 30 speed limit, this one is. Either side you can see there's all these factories that are about. They do present some hazards where traffic may be coming out, but it's just a matter of keeping your eye on it as you would do normally. So we're coming up to the end of the road here in a moment, and then they'll be turning right. So up to the end, having a look both ways. The visibility on this particular junction is quite a good one. You can see clearly both ways. Bring the speed right the way down. Remember, you can bring the speed right down. Use the control of the clutch to bring your speed right down to virtually nothing. Having a look both ways. Then if you're clear, continue on your way again. There's no need to stop and pull the handbrake on unless that is that you've got to wait there for any considerable length of time. But there is all you can see is that road's clear and away you go. So now you've been asked to follow the signs now towards the A5 west. And it's that double roundabout that a lot of people I think get a bit confused over. There's nothing really wrong with this roundabout. But one of the beauties with this particular roundabout is the road markings. They're clearly marked. So all you've got to do is stay in lane, like our candidate is demonstrating here, as you can see. And we're going to the A5. So as long as we stay in this lane that we're in, we'll be fine. And it'll just simply take us to where we want to go. What will happen now is that the two lanes will now merge in. You'll see the lane on the right hand side. Now the arrows are telling the traffic that's in that lane to move over. It's always important to keep your eye on the mirrors and also make good progress as you're going down and be able to judge what's happening. And there you have it. Nice clear road for you, nice straight one. And as you can see, our candidate is, picking up speed there quite a bit, which is good. That's good, that is. A lot of people, they always try to drive nice and carefully, a nice steady 35 to 40 miles an hour. On a road like this, unfortunately, it will go against you if you did something like that. There's no reason why you should drive at that speed. So it's all you've got to do is make normal progress and keep on driving along normally, and that's all it is. So again, we're going to come up to a roundabout in a moment, and the satellite navigation will tell you which way to go. It's just a matter of following it, that's all. The clouds are about, so with any luck that should keep the sun off us a little bit, but there are plenty of gaps there, so I should imagine that later on throughout the drive the sun will probably be out and nearly blind us off. And that's one of the big hazards with driving is, of course, the winter sun, because the sun's so low in the sky, it does make driving quite hazardous. I always prefer it when it's a nice dull day. It's ideal for driving. So the sat-nav there has told us to turn right, so we've turned off right. Always remembering checking that left-hand door mirror. It's always important to be checking that. You never know, there's something might be coming up the side of you. It will do one day, that's for sure, and it's knowing what to do if it does. There are some videos that are on my channel here that shows you that as well, what to do if there is someone coming up the side of you. So we're going towards, where is it now? Yes, Whittington. Yeah, Whittington we're going to now. So the speed limit down here is a national one. As you can see the traffic, there's, well, what's on the road? There's nothing there. Nothing at all. It's just a matter of just simply just getting your foot down. No one's asking you to break your neck or to break any speed limits, but just simply make normal progress. Get the speed of the car up. You're coming up to bits of road now whereby you have got a few junctions there. So on these hazards here, it's always wise maybe just to come off the accelerator and just lower the speed slightly, because you never know things that could happen. So we're now coming in towards Whittington. Ahead of you, you can see, what's there? Yeah, some roadworks there. Oh, the bin man. Yeah, they're always a hazard. You've just got to know how to deal with that. The trouble is with some of the bin lorries, it's the operatives that are at the back, and they can sometimes just jump out, and then you've got to deal with it. Okay, well, we're going over the level crossing, so that's dealt with. This is a 30 speed limit that you're in now. As you can see there's plenty of the driveways, houses, residential area, so it's a 30 speed limit that you're in. And just keeping an eye on these junctions here either side, being aware of anyone that's there. It might be cropping up. Ahead of you, there'll probably be, there'll be stationary cars, no doubt, because further on down there, there are the cars parked up. Now, as you can see, that the examiner's asked the candidate to pull up and stop on the left-hand side, which he's done now. During the driving test, you will be asked to stop on the left, probably about 5 or 6 times. What the examiner will just simply say to you is, would you pull up and stop on the left hand side in a safe and convenient place? And as all you would need to do then is just simply just pull up and stop in a safe convenient place. Just make sure you're reacting to the mirrors and your signal routine. That's all you've got to remember. As soon as you stopped, secure the car by putting on the handbrake, taking it out of gear, and always remember, knock that indicator off. The amount of people that leave the indicator running, and then of course you'd be moving off indicating left, which is of course an incorrect signal. The sat nav will say end of the road, turn left. So again, mirrors, your signal. Good positioning here, really good positioning, because when they're turning left, what they're doing is they're following the profile of the curb around to the left. In other words, the car's not going straight. They follow the profile round, so that's a real good bit of driving, that is. That's good. So we're going past the castle in a moment. Again, this is a 30 speed limit still. There's the castle on the left hand side. There's the stationary vehicle. So it's mirrors. Always remember the mirrors, particularly that right-hand door mirror. That's one of the things the examiner's looking for. Is there's the stationary car in front of you, and it's how you're dealing with it. It just gets slightly tight here, so it's just a matter of just off the power just a little bit. So we've left now the 30 miles an hour speed limit. We're into national speed limit now. Now, the important thing is to remember with a national speed limit, it doesn't mean you must do 60. It means that you shouldn't go over it. In other words, a national speed limit only simply means use your own common sense. Of course you can't do 60, it's too bendy, too windy. And one of the things you always have to be careful of course, is those pesky potholes. You don't want to be hitting them. I mean, because that would be the end of the test then straight away. So it's just a matter of making good progress, and you need to vary your speed, because some places you'll need to slow down and some places you'll need to speed back up. So before you change speed, it's always important you always check your mirrors first before you slow down and before you speed back up. And paying attention to all the road markings. Where you've got on the road, you've probably got markings like slow. They're there for a reason, and they're just telling you, just come off the accelerator for a moment. And what that will do is it'll just lower the speed slightly, and what that will do is it'll allow you to be able to deal with anything that might be there. So it's a nice little drive out this. We're going out into the countryside, so as you can see, there's nothing much here to do. Very, very little in actual fact. Like the driving test consists a lot of driving on roads like this, and as you can see, what's to be afraid of with this? You're just going for a drive out. You're not doing anything more than that. You've got a nice straight road here, so it's just a matter of simply making normal progress and paying attention to all the road and the traffic signs. That there that we've just gone through, see the crossroads there. It's just a matter of being aware of who might be turning right in front of you, because that does happen, where people simply turn right in front of you, and you would have to be ready to react. So the speed limit is a bit lower now, so we've got to bring the speed down. Nice straight bit of road this. There's very little on that, very little on it. So they've turned off. So again, it's always remember mirrors first, then your signal. And then the mirrors just as you've gone into your new road. So here what's happening is here the examiner's asking the candidate to pull up and stop on the right hand side of the road. Now this will be the reverse to the right. Now what will happen is that the examiner's going to ask the candidate to reverse the car for about 2 car lengths, keeping reasonably close to the curb. The important thing is here to remember is look where you go in. Take direct observation, looking through the back window. Try not to look forwards going backwards. Just keep it under control with your clutch. Make the car go backwards nice and slowly. Looking through the back window, a glance to the front, looking to the side door mirror, because someone on the pavement could walk out if there was an entrance there, an alleyway of some sort. If anyone passes you, comes towards you, stop. That's from the back or the front. As soon as you've gone back for about 2 car lengths, what the examiner will say is just thank you, drive on whenever you're ready. Now it's always important to check over your left shoulder before you move away. You need to check it quite physically, so you're checking your mirrors, look over your left shoulder and then away you go. And that's that manoeuvre done. As you can see, there's nothing there, there's nothing at all. Going through a little bit of a built-up area here now. There's nothing much on it. There's nothing there. A few stationary cars, which you've just got to deal with. But by and large, there's nothing there whatsoever. So we're turning left. Again, observations. Where the danger is here. See the zebra crossing that's there right in front of you. Make sure that you're paying attention to that, because there could be a pedestrian just waiting. The amount of times that people have just simply looked to the right, yeah, I'm clear, and just drive straight out. And then the examiner's had to stand on the foot brake because there's a pedestrian on the crossing. So you need to be aware of that. And as I say, it's just a matter of taking your time, slowing the car down and having a look at these junctions. Well, there's the sun coming out, so that's going to blind us a little bit, but our candidate's doing quite well. They're dealing with it. They're dealing with that. That's fine. That is there. So off we go again into the countryside, and off we go. So we go back into the national speed limit again. So we just passed the national speed limit signs. So we're going off back now. What will happen probably around about now, the sat-nav would say you have reached your destination. So the sat-nav will switch itself off. The examiner will just say he will give you normal directions from now on. Yeah, just stopping at the traffic lights. So it's just a matter of now, just make sure your handbrake's on. Get the car ready to move off. Okay, so the lights have changed to our favour. Away we go. Before you move away though, always check that right hand door mirror. You never know what might be overtaking you, particularly motorbikes and cyclists. So again, making good progress down this little road here. Keeping the speed up. There's nothing wrong with it. It's doing really well. And this is a real life footage from an actual driving test where the candidate is actually taking his test. This is actually happening. This is how he's dealing with it. And this is exactly what happens. So if you're ever wondering what does happen on a driving test, this is it. This is it entirely. This is it completely. So now you're coming into the 40 speed limit. It's just a matter of now mirror checks, bringing the speed down, making sure that you don't go above the 40 limit. It's just there because there's this thing's bad bends and driveways and all that sort of thing that could be waiting for you around there. So back into the 30 speed limit again now. Okay, so this is unfortunately where everything starts to go wrong, because now the examiner's going to ask very shortly them to turn right. So mirrors, your signal, slow the car down, there's the oncoming vehicle, oops, straight out right in front of it. There's your fail. What the candidate should have done was waited. The road wasn't clear, so there's the fail. So that's the sort of thing that you can fail on. What should they have done? Spotted the car coming at them and then stopped and waited. The car that's going left, the car that was on the other side coming towards them, had the priority, so they'd have to stop. So what a nice little drive, but unfortunately that mistake there has cost them a driving test. We're going towards the test centre now, but this isn't the only fault that's been committed. We'll have a look at something else in a moment. So the examiner's asked the candidate to pull up on the left-hand side. You can't see inside the car, and you can't see what's happening to the candidate. But one thing that did come out of this test was that before you move away, make sure that you do check that blind spot before you move off. As I said at the beginning of this video, that the examiner will be asking you to stop 5 or 6 times on the left-hand side, then ask you to move off again. What they're checking for is, are you paying attention to what's happening around you? So here, we're giving way to the cars. That's good. That's okay. That's all right there. It would have been better off if he'd have just stopped rather than gone in somewhere. He didn't have to do that. What he could do is just simply pull up and stop. So we're on the way back to the test centre now. So there's another stationary vehicle. It's just a matter of now mirrors. Come back in again. Oh, some more traffic lights waiting for us. the examiners asked the candidate to pull up on the left hand side about a car's length away from it. This is called the angle start. This is where you'll be asked to pull up about a car's length away from the car in front. We're just, as you can see, probably a little bit more than a car's length away from it, but it's okay. And then of course it's just a matter of paying attention to what's happening at the back of you. Mirror checks. Then before you move away, make sure that you check over that right hand shoulder. It is an absolute must. You must check over that right hand shoulder. It's not minor, it's a major. You need to check what's happening around you. Okay, so along here you've got the stationary cars. What you've got to be aware of here is what's coming the other way. So just up there, just a few moments back, where we did move off, we could have given in. But the examiner will give you the benefit of the doubt on that particular one. So it's just a matter of just making sure that you're clear to move off. Don't just make the mistake of following the car in front. If it's not clear, don't go. Like here, for example, it's not clear. And there's the van, it's got to stop. And that's also the fail. Because there, he's forced the van to stop. But what our candidate has done is just simply follow the car in front. It's not a good idea. Don't just follow the person in front. If they make a mistake, you will make it as well. The person in front will simply drive off, but you will fail. What the candidate needed to do there was to spot the fact that there was a car coming the other way and they needed to stop. The car goes past, then you can proceed. But don't just follow the car in front. It's always a bad idea. So again, mirrors, make sure you're clear. Again, it wasn't all that clear, just following the car in front. Notice how the car on the other side has stopped. They haven't just gone through. And that's what we should be doing, is just holding back, not just overtaking and giving no consideration to a vehicle coming the other way. Again, the examiners asked the candidate to pull up and stop on the left hand side and then move off again when it's clear to do so. Again, stop it on the left hand side, having a look. So mirrors, then your signal, pull up and stop somewhere that's safe and convenient, and then when safe to do so, move off again. So mirrors, look over your right shoulder, then away you go. So we're heading off now down towards the test centre. And that's how long a driving test actually lasts for, which is what, 35, 36 minutes. That's about how long. I mean, some of them take a little bit longer than that. And as you see, this one's taking just probably that little bit. So we're going to be turning off right in a moment. That's it. So we're going back to where the test centre is now. We're going to enter into the car park. What will happen is then, as soon as you've parked up, the examiner will just ask you then to switch the engine off. He'll just ask you just to give him a few moments while he completes his report, and then he'll give you the result. What he'll say then is, right, well, that's the end of the test, and I'm sorry, on this occasion you have not been successful. I explain to you what it is that you failed on. One was the turning right that we saw. The other one was the meat vehicles coming the other way. And the other one was not making effective observations before we moved away. Hope you found the video interesting. Thanks for watching.